Good morning.
We meet again
Yeah.
on Thursday. How are you?
I am doing well. What about you?
Great. I wanted to bring a little bit of tropical weather to people in the United States because I know there's a lot of
Yeah.
snow and
Rude.
ice. So this is our little plunge pool, and that is the outdoors where it is currently about 70 degrees, with a high of 85. It will not be this nice forever, but we're going to enjoy it while we can
Yeah.
and hope that everybody there stays safe.
Yeah, it is not going to be nice over the next few days down here or up here, I guess, for you.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's going to be
Yeah, but
nasty.
do you know this is the reason that so many people are Googling Disney World trips this time of year? Because they're like, get me out of this cold.
It is too cold. I don't want to be here. I'm not enjoying it. Looks
Hmm.
like it's going to be quite nasty.
Exactly. So I hope everybody stays safe and also come visit. Come to Puerto Vallarta. Today we're going to talk about news. There's one piece of news to talk about. We're also going to discuss if travel agencies are MLMs, and then we'll get to some of your comments. Yesterday we didn't have a chance to get to the comments. We had some technical things happen, but I do enjoy hearing from people. I mean, able to like interact or answer questions or whatever. So we will do that at the end. Anything else before we dive in?
I don't think so. Let's get to it.
All right. So today's news is all about the tea room.
Yes. So this is the tea room at the Grand Floridian that was around for quite a while, and then it closed with the pandemic when everything else closed back in March of 2020. And it was kind of set quiet for a while and didn't really know if it was going to come back. And this is yet another one of those pandemic things that Disney's brought back for us. So it's kind of exciting.
Yeah, we're very, very into this because having things come back just feels nostalgic and like
Hmm.
yes, we missed it.
Yes.
So
Super exciting.
we're
So it's opening or reopening, I guess, March 19th with reservations starting on February 19th. And it's the name's kind of changing. It's going to the Garden View Lounge Tea Experience
of
hyphen
course
tea experience because
they
Disney loves
have
a
to.
hyphen,
They love a hyphen. They love a capital letter. They
a
love a
colon.
they love exclamation mark.
Uh huh.
They love the word plus.
Yes.
Not not being used in this case, but they do have a certain word jumble that they use for a lot of their stuff. But yeah, and this is why sometimes when I'm talking about it, like on video or podcast or whatever, I'm like, oh, what is the actual name now?
I know.
So they're
The
hard.
names are so long and ridiculous sometimes. It's a huge challenge to remember them. So what do you
But
think about the theme? So the theme went from just kind of generic tea room, like English tea room, to now Alice in Wonderland.
well, I think it makes absolute sense,
Hmm.
and I 100% love it. And I just love how pretty everything is.
It's so
So,
pretty.
and I think this is a thing too that you have to know about. Disney often will do these themes, but elevate them, especially at a resort like the Grand Floridian,
Hmm.
because like Citrico's restaurant is Mary Poppins theme, but it's very subtle, very
So
classy.
subtle and elegant, I would say. It's super elegant. Um, Alice in Wonderland theme is kind of sprinkled throughout this resort. So I think, like you said, I think it makes perfect sense. And the um, the whole fact that Alice in Wonderland has the tea party, I'm kind of surprised they didn't do it before, but I'm glad that they're doing it now.
Yeah, it makes absolute sense. Have you ever been to a proper tea?
I have not, so I'm very excited to check this one out when it opens.
I've been to a couple, but I 100% would do this one for sure. And it, I feel, am I right that the old tea really catered to kids?
Well, they had a whole separate one that was just a kids based one where it
Uh,
was, if I remember correctly, quite expensive, but you
yeah,
got
a doll.
a doll at the end and a character was there. Like a
Yeah.
character showed up to the
And
tea.
it feels like with this one, there's a mix, but maybe there was a mix before. It's just been such a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, so this one will have, of course, your teas, Disney partners with Twining, so you get lots of great tea options. There's also going to be some cocktails, some tea centric cocktails, like a
Mm-hmm.
martini with a little play on the name there.
Martini.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, super cute. They have a whole like carousel on the Disney Parks blog of the different drinks
Just
and
even
like
the teacups they're
yeah, like
beautiful.
there's look at the and then here look at the pretty. I didn't include the pictures when I was living it up because there's just so many. But I'm a sucker for a cute cup, and they
Yeah.
have the cute cups there, pink drinks, beautiful teas, champagnes,
Yes.
so amazing.
And then when it
Um,
comes to the food, they're going to do this tower, this three-tiered tower that will
mm,
be both savory and sweet. And I like that you get
mhm.
your starter, your savory, and then you get to top it off with adorable little desserts.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes it so much like a traditional tea. You know the pretty garden area of the Canada Pavilion in Epcot.
Mm-hmm.
So that's based on Bouchard Gardens in Victoria,
So,
British Columbia.
uh-huh.
That's where I had a tea.
Oh,
Is at Bouchard Gardens in Victoria,
oh,
British
I
Columbia.
thought you meant you had one in Canada at the Canada Pavilion, but no, at the real one.
No,
Okay,
no,
that
but
makes more sense.
my motive for going where that was like, oh, Bouchard Gardens, I've heard of that,
Uh-huh.
and I went there and had a tea there. So that's one of my two tea experiences.
Well, how fun.
So yeah. So anyway, excited about this coming back. I think we could make a list of things that haven't come back that we hope they still will
Mm-hmm.
because it's like yes, go, go, go.
Yeah, a few more things that it would be great to get back.
You know, the number one thing I've heard from people is the character breakfast at Trattoria Al Forno.
Oh,
That's
yes.
what they really want because that was good food and good character interactions on the boardwalk.
Yeah, and one of the only places where there was the prince, right? Because you had
Mhm. They were
Rapunzel
duos.
and Flynn Rider. Yeah, Flynn Rider. So that was
Mhm.
fun. One that I don't think is ever coming back, and that probably doesn't need to, but Magical Express. That
Mm.
one I still hear people talking about even now.
Yeah, that's a tough one because
Yeah.
now everyone has to take rideshare or Mears or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. All right, that's only news for today. We are looking forward to Disney making more announcements, but for now, that's what we've got. But at least it's a good thing, and we can look forward to it
For
coming
real.
back.
Yeah.
The main topic we wanted to talk about today, other than news, is about travel agencies because we get asked a lot about travel agencies and specifically, are they legit? Are they MLMs, etc.?
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to talk about this both from a perspective of if you are looking to be a travel agent, these are things to look forward to, but also if you're looking to work with a travel agency, this is something that you should look for because it's going to affect both people.
Yeah.
Because the only people that benefit from the MLM agencies are the owners.
Yeah.
And so we want you to avoid everyone to avoid them if possible.
Mm-hmm.
So and then I think you have information on like the ideal people to work with travel agents as well, like
Yes.
who should work with the travel agent. So we'll cover that. But let's start with like generally how travel agencies work.
Mm-hmm.
So traditionally, the structure of an agency is you have owners who hire agents and they sell vacations. And then when the commissions come into the agency from that company, like Disney, there is a split between the agent and the agency, and it can be like 70-30 or something like that, where the agent gets 70% of the commission, the agency gets 30. The agency usually takes on a lot of the work of like training people
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of thing. That's sort of generally how it is split. So then what's different about an MLM agency? And I'm going to put that in quotes because you can decide if it's an MLM or not. So at some point, I'm going to guess, I don't remember, about 10 years ago, I feel like a lot of agencies decided that they didn't want to just make money off of the trips. They wanted to make
Mm-mm.
money off the agents.
Agents, like mass hiring started.
Yes, because a lot of people in travel in general, but Disney especially, want to do something that is work related to use their knowledge. And so travel agent is probably the number one way to do that. And so they are preying on those people who so desperately want to do a
Mm-hmm.
job like this and charging them fees. And they're making money off of the fees. And I'm not saying all fees are bad. I'm
No.
saying that these agencies are using the agents as a money making opportunity. Fees in a traditional agency would be to just cover things that you need, such as certain kinds of travel agent insurance or software that you use, this sort of
Mm-hmm.
thing. But these MLM agencies, they use the money in just for themselves.
Yeah.
And they're not necessarily using it to cover that kind of stuff. They're using it to make money.
Yeah. So
And
the fees are higher than normal.
they're higher than normal, and they don't cover as much as what you would
Mm-hmm.
see at the other agencies because they are just taking the money. But they also hire in mass. So lots and lots of people, because if you're paying hundreds of dollars to join and they can do that every day, multiple times, well, guess what? They're bringing in a lot of revenue just on the fees alone.
Mm-hmm.
So let's do kind of a comparison. So the interview process is going to be different for each of these. A traditional agency is going to interview you because that's how jobs work.
Mm-hmm.
You have to interview people before you hire them to make sure that they're a good fit. The MLM style agencies will usually skip that.
Mm-hmm.
Either it's very basic and they don't really get into much, or they just skip it altogether and they're like, you're in. So those are a big difference. There is another big difference in the experience required. So to be a travel agent, you should have experience, because why are you booking somebody's cruise if you've never been on a cruise?
Mm-hmm.
You don't actually know what you're doing because you've never done it yourself.
Never done it.
The MLM agencies don't care. They don't care if you've ever been to Disney World. They don't care if you've ever been on a Disney cruise. All they
Mm-hmm.
care is that you come on and pay the fees, because that's how they make money. That is no bueno for the clients that are being
Yeah.
booked. Okay. Another telltale sign of the MLM style agency is the benefits promised. So they will promise a lot of things like travel free, make a whole career, booking your family and friends and your own trips, and all this kind of stuff. And that is stuff that you can do after some time, usually. Like if you sell enough travel, you can work
Mm-hmm.
up to those benefits. But to promise it right out the gate to somebody that has never done it isn't realistic.
Mm-mm.
It isn't. It's at the very best, it's a hobby if you're booking your family and friends and your own trips. But to make it like a whole career is going to take a lot of work. And so you have to be careful of them overhyping it in this way. I used to be partnered with an agency that started off the more traditional route, but I think saw the money coming in from the agents and was like, oh, let's just hire hundreds more. And so they kind of switched their strategy a bit there, and we're not partnered, haven't been partnered in a long time. And so even traditional agencies can kind of switch because
Mm-hmm.
they can be tempted by the travel agency fees to pay the bills. So that's so I guess the answer to the question, are travel agencies MLMs? The answer is some of them are.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them, not all of them. We partner with Small World Travel, and I absolutely love them because not only they've been around forever, but they are the smartest, best agents and owned by the nicest person I've ever met in the Disney niche. And their efforts show because they book a lot of travel.
Mm-hmm.
And they're very professional, and they're the interview process is stringent. Like you really have to be good to be on their team. So if anybody is interested in working with a good travel agency, I will link to them here. But be wary when you're looking for a travel agency, which one it seems like they are. All right. What else? Okay, so what if a person planning a trip is debating agent or not?
Mm. And whether or not to do it?
Who should work with an agent?
People who should work with an agent are probably those who are overwhelmed with the process. So if you are somebody who really wants to go to Disney World, but you start diving in and you realize that planning a Disney World trip is very complex, especially if you've never done it before, then I would say you are the perfect candidate for using a travel agent. There I don't know that everybody understands that when you use a travel agency and you book with a travel agent, unless you're signing up for additional things, because sometimes travel agents can do additional things above and beyond, you don't pay the travel agent. Travel agents are paid from the companies that they're booking trips for. So when you book with a travel agent to book your Disney World trip, you're not paying them, Disney is paying them. So you are getting their services and their expertise basically for free, which can be a huge help if you, like I said, are feeling overwhelmed. If your time is limited and you know that you are going to want to do things like apply discounts, but you don't want to be the person who's always watching for the discounts to drop, a travel agent is somebody who could most definitely help you with that. A good travel agent will definitely be watching for Disney to drop discounts and then applying those retroactively, which you can do. You can apply a discount after you have already booked a trip. Um, if you don't want to be the person who's just going to sit on hold all day, making reservations or trying to fix things, we've been on trips before where we've had issues, and it's been really nice to have a travel agent who can be the one who is on the phone with Disney while we are still enjoying our trip. So,
Yeah, we do a mix of booking our own trips
mhm,
because we need to know how that works and be comfortable with it. But
mhm.
also we do use Small World, and they have helped tremendously on some of our trips.
Yes, absolutely. Um, so I think those are probably some of the biggest reasons why you should consider, or you might want to consider, using a travel agent. But there's most definitely some times when it's not going to be a good fit, and you probably aren't going to get the same uh, relief from having an additional set of hands and eyes working on your trip.
Yeah, definitely. If you're a bit of a control freak and you like being hands-on, then
Hmm.
do it. Then be hands-on and do it yourself. But if you appreciate the help
Yeah.
and the expertise, then an agency is probably the way to go. A legit one.
Yes, most definitely a legit one. So if that is your thing, and a lot of people who are readers or listeners of WW Prep School website, podcast, whatever, they tend to be the kind of people who like to book their own trips. But I've also seen this evolution with those people who were really big into the booking and loved the planning process. Now that they kind of understand it, being, I don't want to say willing, but happy to go ahead and pass the reins off to somebody else because they've kind of mastered this, and they're going to let somebody else do some of that legwork for them now.
Yeah, exactly. I do want to add one thing is what Heather said is how people make money in the travel agency
Hmm.
space is that the company pays like Disney, but sometimes they do charge fees, and
Hmm.
they'll be upfront about that because the only thing that agents make money on are the things that are bookable, like that you pay money for, like the hotel or the dining plan or the tickets. But there's a lot more to Disney planning than that, such as dining reservations and
Lightning
lightning lanes
lanes.
and all this kind of stuff, and they don't make money on that. So in order to help with that stuff and compensate for their time, a lot of agents will charge money as like a consultation fee basically.
Hmm.
So there's different ways to do it, but um, those are some legit options.
Yeah,
All right, anything else on travel agencies?
I don't think so.
All right. I just wanted to mention one comment. How can a man be a gynecologist without being pregnant himself? And it's related to how can someone be a
Hmm.
travel agent if they haven't gone on a trip themselves? And I think the difference is men can be gynecologists because they go to school.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't have to have given birth or to have all the body parts to be a gynecologist. In the travel agency equivalent of that is that your education is on your trips.
Hmm.
So education is required in both cases, but the way that you do it is different.
Yeah.
So There you go. Hope that helps. All right. So tomorrow is Friday, and we'll be back
Bless.
then for whatever Disney decides to announce or whatever we come across. And we'll chat with you then.
Bye.